Hey guys, it's Robert. So there were more terror attacks today over in London. The details are still rolling in, and the point of this video is not to explain the news to you. There are a lot of great resources for that, but first off, my heart goes out to anybody in the area, anybody affected by these attacks, whether you're directly affected or indirectly. It's not fair, and it sucks, and it's terrible. But what I wanted to talk about was being afraid. Now, common things you will hear are, don't be afraid, you can't let them win. I don't like that, because it creates this sense of guilt when you are afraid. And I think it's totally legitimate to be afraid. Just because you're afraid does not mean that they won. You're afraid because you give a shit. You care about the world. You care about the people that you love. You care about yourself. And to have the knowledge that horrible things like this can happen in such seemingly random ways is terrifying, and it's scary, and that's okay. You're allowed to be afraid. You're allowed to be uncertain. You're allowed to be hesitant. And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't need to feel guilty about feeling afraid. Don't let anybody guilt you about that. I would say that you are also allowed to feel other things. You're allowed to feel encouraged or angry or persistent or proud or brave. Any of these things, you're also allowed to feel them, but it can coexist with that fear, with that worry. And you may or may not choose to let that fear or worry be the driving force of your behaviors. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, and that's okay. It doesn't have anything to do with them, the people that are supposedly winning by you being scared. You're supposed to be afraid of things that are terrifying, and this is a war of sorts, and things shift back and forth in war. And it's supposed to be scary. It's not supposed to be pleasant. And that's not fair, and that sucks, like I said. But I want to encourage you to let that fear be there and also recognize that you can be other things as well. So let the fear coexist. And next time somebody says, you can't be scared, that's just letting them win, tell them that's not true. Tell them that you're allowed to be afraid, and they should be afraid too. And while it may or may not dictate what you do, there's nothing wrong with you for being afraid. That's all I wanted to say about it. I hear a lot of that guilt going around right now, and it's not fair to you. It's not fair to anybody. So let's try to wipe that out. And if you want to be brave, if you want to be concerned, if you want to be righteous, whatever it is, you do those things too. But don't give yourself a hard time for being afraid.